Hey, this is TBK here. Got another good one for you guys today. We'll talk about WWE SmackDown live show commentary reaction. Also, have a bonus round talking about WrestleMania 40, the best ever. Will it be the biggest shows of all time? So we'll cover each part of SmackDown that was important tonight and also get my grading on SmackDown. Then we will move on to the bonus round. It's all about WrestleMania 40 and the components behind it. What could be possibly be the best WrestleMania ever? So let's check it out. We got the live show commentary reaction. Now we got to get to the show, and we'll go over each thing. This is the SmackDown for February 16th. This is SmackDown for February 16th. And we'll talk about each important part of the show. Of course, we got the Rock and Roman. We'll get to that later. And let's talk about each one. So let's move to that, shall we? Now, of course, the first part of the show, it was talking about Kevin Owens, and we had him, and we also had Dominic Mysterio. Now, they had a one-on-one match. It was a qualifying match. The qualifying match for Elimination Chamber. Whoever won went to Elimination Chamber. So this was a solid match, a good way to kick off Friday Night SmackDown. And we later had a little visit from R-Truth again, which is always entertaining to see. But nonetheless, Kevin Owens, he ain't letting nothing get to him. No distractions, no anything. He defeated Dirty Dom. And he is inserted to the men's Elimination Chamber match. So he defeated him despite R-Truth. It was funny. Dominic was trying to use R-Truth to get a chair for him, and Dominic just sat down. But it was Kevin Owens that prevailed, and he is going to be in the men's Elimination Chamber match next week in Perth, Australia. So it was a solid match, good way to kick off the show, as I said before. And we just got one more spot now because we already got other 5 in there. So the rest of the evening we gotta wait and see, does Logan Paul qualify or the Miz qualify for the Elimination Chamber spot. But other than that, though, it was a good match to kick off the show. Kevin Owens still looking at R-Truth like, stop calling him the Miz, but other than that, it was a good way to kick off the show. So later on, we had another match. We had Tiffany Stratton versus Zelina Vega for the women's Elimination Chamber qualifying match. Tiffany defeats Zelina Vega. Now we had Zelina Vega. She came out with the LWO, and also we saw Santino. I'm sorry, not Santino, but we had Santos. Let's say Santos Escobar, Electra Lopez, Humberto, and Angel Garza in that ringside. It was caused a little distraction. Tiffany, she took advantage of the distraction when Zelina Vega attacked Electra Lopez, and Tiffany Stratton hit her beautiful moonsault. 1, 2, 3. Tiffany is going to the women's Elimination Chamber match. So we're going to have that. And she also had a little celebration backstage, talking stuff to Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. But, and of course, Liv Morgan too. But other than that, it was not a bad match. We pretty much knew that Tiffany was going to win this match. We knew she was going to qualify. Zelina Vega, I know she had a little singles buzz. They tried to push her. She was at Backlash last year against Rhea Ripley for the title, but we know that it was not going to happen. But Tiffany advances, and she goes on to face the other participants in the Elimination Chamber qualifying match. Now, we see another big thing that happens. We get Braun Breaker. He is officially part of the SmackDown roster. Nick Aldis came out to the SmackDown audience and he said that, he made a big deal. Braun Breaker's coming to SmackDown. Also, Jade Cargill's coming. She's there too. But they didn't really officially announce her, but we know she's going to be a part of SmackDown. She won't keep appearing on the show and not come to SmackDown. So, but Braun, they officially made an announcement for him. As it's teased that Braun Breaker is supposedly down the line, supposed to have a feud with Roman Reigns. That's why Paul Heyman's was showing up with Braun Breaker. And, Paul Heyman's all about opportunities. He's the wise man. And, Braun Breaker on NXT used to wear the shirt, the best spear in the business. So expect Braun Breaker have a good push later on against himself and Roman Reigns. I guess spear versus spear. Go figure, right? So we have that. That was a good segment of the show. And Braun Breaker, of course, is going to make his debut next week on SmackDown. Now, it doesn't announce who he's going to wrestle specifically, but he will make his first-time match on SmackDown. It's the weird thing about Braun Breaker. He just recently won the NXT Tag Team titles alongside Baron Corbin in the main event against Defeating the Family, which is Stacks and Tony the Don. But I don't know how that's going to work. He can't be on both shows like that. I don't know if he's going to drop the NXT Tag Team title that he has Baron Corbin, or he's going to write him off the show. He attacks Corbin. I don't know how they're going to play that out storyline wise, but if he's going to be officially on SmackDown now, especially make his debut next week on SmackDown, I don't know how it's going to work, him working that and staying on NXT, being a tag team champion, despite the fact he just won the tag team championship like literally a few days ago. So I don't know how that will work at all for that matter. That's going to be a tough one to do, but I know WWE will work something out for that matter. So congratulations to Braun Breaker. He is a part of the SmackDown roster. Congratulations to him. Only time will tell what Braun Breaker and what impact he's going to make on the SmackDown roster. He is the dog. Now let's head on to another part of the show. We also had Logan Paul. He faces The Miz in a Men's Elimination Chamber qualifying match, and he defeats The Miz. He hit him with the punch. He even hit the Skull Crush finale on The Miz, but it was pretty obvious that Logan Paul had momentum, despite the fact he's United States champion, that he will qualify. And The Miz is basically here in this point in his career to put over younger superstars and upcoming talent. As we see here, he put over Logan Paul, and it's like the first time he's done it. They faced off against each other before, and Logan Paul beat him before. So Logan Paul and The Miz had a good, little solid match. This would basically put Logan over, and he is going to be in the Men's Elimination Chamber match. One thing Logan Paul did say that was true afterwards, that he is the only actual champion headed in to Elimination Chamber match. So I thought that was interesting to see. For Logan Paul to qualify. But only time will tell. It will make the match more interesting. We know Logan Paul's known for having good spots. He had a good spot to Royal Rumble last year. Last year he actually interfered in the Elimination Chamber, costing Seth Rollins the match, and that what led to their match at WrestleMania last year. He said that he will face Seth Rollins in a rematch for the world title. I don't think Logan Paul is going to win the Men's Elimination Chamber match. That's my opinion. But he is officially in the match now. He did defeat The Miz last night. It's on SmackDown. They do on SmackDown, so definitely a good addition to the match. Only time will tell what that's going to happen. Also, we had a little segment backstage. We had Drew and LA Knight have a choice of words. Drew's talking about how he's going to Elimination Chamber, how the other guys will have a chance. LA Knight came out of nowhere saying, "Stop all your whining. You talk about how you didn't get your moment due to COVID winning WrestleMania 4 years ago at WrestleMania 36." And, they had their back and forth, and then officials got in, broke them up. So I don't know if it's going to be a future feud down the line between Drew and LA. As far as the chamber goes, I know they're going to go head to head at the Elimination Chamber match because they both are officially in the men's Elimination Chamber match. So that's going to be interesting to see. As we know, all the participants are set. We have Kevin Owens, we have LA Knight, we have Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, Bobby Lashley, and now Logan Paul. So I know it will be interesting. I ain't gonna say it's the best stacked Elimination Chamber match. I ain't gonna say that, but I will say it'll be interesting to see what they're gonna do in this match. I mean, I like the fact Randy Orton and Bobby Lashley's in there and LA Knight. But of course, Drew. Kevin Owens, I don't see why he's in there. He would not win. I guess he's an extra piece. And Logan Paul, as he stated, he is already United States champion. Don't know why he's in there either. But if they had picked two other guys, it would have been a little bit better. It'll be solid, but I don't see it fully stacked. Elimination Chamber men's Elimination Chamber match as a whole, and it's next week. But I don't know. Maybe they'll get some shocking good spots. Maybe they'll shock the whole WWE, making this a very, very good Elimination Chamber match for the men. I don't even know how they're going to top last year. Last year was one of the best Elimination Chamber matches I've seen. But we're going to see what happens next. We got the only thing I did say before, Drew McIntyre, like he's the favorite going in. I'll be very surprised if Drew does not win this men's Elimination Chamber match to face Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. I'll be shocking if he don't win, because I do see him winning. Kevin Owens don't make sense. Logan don't make sense. LA Knight don't make sense. He's on SmackDown. This is a Raw championship. Most of the guys, if you think, that are on this Elimination Chamber match, they're SmackDown guys. Kevin Owens, SmackDown. LA Knight, SmackDown. Logan Paul, SmackDown. Bobby Lashley, SmackDown. Randy Orton, SmackDown. Drew McIntyre is literally the only superstar in this match that's a part of the Raw brand, which makes it much more obvious that he will win and face Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. I don't see any other five guys, even Randy Orton, winning this match. It's going to be Drew. He's faced for a Raw championship. You're going to move Kevin or LA, Randy, Bobby, or Logan to the Raw brand? Not right now. I don't see that happening. Maybe it will be a shocker for me, but I see Drew as the odds-on favorite to win this match. So that would be interesting to see what happens in the Elimination Chamber match. Moving along, we have Naomi, another Elimination Chamber qualifying match for women's. She defeated Alba Fry, and she qualifies to head on to the women's Elimination Chamber match. Alba Fry was not the original opponent for Naomi. It was supposed to be Shotzi. Shotzi suffered an injury at the NXT taping, hence why she will compete the NXT Women's Champion Lyra Valkyria for the NXT Women's Championship next week on NXT. So this is Naomi's first singles match in SmackDown since 2022, about 2 years ago, close to 2 years at least. And Alba Fry's her first singles match since February of last year. So this was interesting. The spots in the match, like I said, obvious that Naomi was going to win this match. It's not a shocker here, but it was a good way of having the match make it much more interesting. So now, with Naomi and Tiffany Stratton qualifying tonight on SmackDown, now we have 5 women and 1 spot left for the women's Elimination Chamber match, and whoever wins will receive a title shot against Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship at WrestleMania 40. So now we have Naomi, Liv Morgan, Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Tiffany Stratton. And I believe that last spot will be a last chance battle royal they'll have on Raw for that. So I talked about that before. I would say for this Women's Elimination Chamber match, Becky Lynch is the odds-on favorite. Seems like she'll win. I'd be very surprised if she don't win, as they tease at the WrestleMania 40 kickoff when Rhea Ripley came out to talk. Becky Lynch came out of nowhere and really challenged Rhea without even this match even happening yet of the Elimination Chamber match for the women's. So I see Becky winning. Now, I've also said, too, despite Becky being the odds-on favorite to win this match, Liv Morgan may be the wild card and win. She may be. And she may shock us with a win because Liv Morgan's been getting better. And let's not forget, Liv Morgan was in the Elimination Chamber last year for the women's, and she was the runner-up for this year and last year's Royal Rumble. So that's the only person I can see possibly winning besides Becky is Liv Morgan. But more likely it's going to be Becky Lynch winning this match. And she's going to go on to face Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 40 for the Women's World Championship. But this could be a very still good stacked match. You got Naomi and Tiffany in there. You got Bianca in there with the strength. Naomi can, her moves. Tiffany, her, the flying moves she do, the moonsault. Liv Morgan, of course, Becky. So you got a good match here. I'm actually more interested in the women's Elimination Chamber match than the men's. That's the crazy part about that one. So I definitely like what they have stacked here. My question is, I don't know who's going to win the women's final spot for the Elimination Chamber match. Like I said, it's going to be determined in the Battle Royal. It's going to be a last chance one they're going to have. More than likely, it's going to be on the upcoming Monday Night Raw. So only time will tell who's going to win that match. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen. That's the crazy part about that one. Now, they kind of tease who's going to be in it, maybe, who will be in the Last Chance Battle Royal as of now. I would say they had the way it was set up, unless it changes by any means. I know Shayna's in there, Mia Yim, Zoe Stark. So it probably would be, since Shotzi was the original participant, she's out. I would say it would be Selena Vega. She's going to be in there. And Albert Fry's going to be in there. So, but that will only equal 5 women. That's a very small battle royal. The only battle royal is 10 or more people. Or 15. I'm sorry, at least 15. But we can have an idea who's going to be in it. Shayna Baszler, Raw. Mia Yim, Michin, SmackDown. Zoe, Raw. Selena Vega, we know she lost SmackDown. This is Alba Fry to Shotzi spot, and she lost Alba Fry SmackDown. So whoever wins that would be inserted to the final spot for the Women's Elimination Chamber spot. So whoever's gonna get that one spot to end, they will be in that match. Definitely, it's gonna be something interesting to check out. They'll see what's going to be the next move. And Elimination Chamber match will be 5 a.m. Eastern time. So it will be, I'm in Central Standard Time, so it'll be 4 a.m. It's going to be an early one. Imagine this time around next week on a Saturday, Elimination Chamber event will be going on in Australia. So can't wait to check it out. Before we get to the main segment, we have Damage Control saying they're coming for Bayley and they're coming for Dakota Kai. I know Dakota Kai just come back, but they said that in a promo, they said no one's ready for Damage Control, as we know that Asuka and the rest of Damage Control, they are on a tear. They are ready. They know Bayley's going to be challenging Io for the women's championship at WrestleMania. We also know that Dakota Kai was trying to help Bayley last week. So with that being said, now they're coming for Dakota. And Bayley, she talked to Dakota, but she's keeping a distance from her. She said, hey, Damage Control's coming for me, Dakota Kai said, need to stick together. And Bayley's like, I don't know. Bayley's looking real hesitant, reluctant, helping Dakota. And Bayley said, I got to do my own thing. And she walked off. Now, we know Dakota Kai, her history, for those who don't know, she had a history of turning on her allies, tag team partners. Back in NXT, she was tag team partners with Tegan Nox, made a good tag team. She turned on her, started a heel turn. Her most famous tag team, her most successful one in NXT, was with Raquel Rodriguez. They were the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. And she turned on her, too. So that's why I say I don't trust Dakota Kai. She's going to try to flip on Bayley, too, if Bayley trusts her. If she don't, then at least if Dakota Kai attack her anyway, at least it makes sense. At least Bayley didn't give in. But Damage Control sent out a message that they're coming for Bayley and Dakota. They sent out a very, very good message. And this is the new Damage Control, which we thought would always be Io front center, Asuka, and Kairi Sane. Damage Control is all Asian group. But anyway, this was a good segment. It's a good setup for WrestleMania. Only time will tell to happen in the next couple of weeks heading to WrestleMania. What would Damage Control do to Bayley and Dakota Kai? What kind of attacks they're going to have? But trust and believe, Damage Control will have some up their sleeve. They're going to do a lot of sneaky stuff on Bayley and Dakota Kai. Any chance they can get, any advantage they could get heading into WrestleMania 40. So definitely, it's going to be interesting to see what happens next with the whole Dakota Kai, Bayley, and Damage Control. Well, the newly formed Damage Control. It's funny, it started with Bayley, Dakota, Io. Now it's just Io, Asuka, and Kairi. And we saw that change when Kairi and Asuka joined Damage Control back in December. So interesting. Definitely interesting to see what happens next for all those all together. But can you blame Bayley for not trusting Dakota? And I don't blame her at all. Dakota is not, like I said, not trustworthy. And Bayley has to, she's on her own now. She don't have nobody backing her up anymore. And she's not going to have Dakota Kai backing her up. So she got to trust herself and trust her instinct to ride this out alone. I mean, let's not forget she did win Royal Rumble alone. No help from Damage Control. No help from anybody. And then Dakota Kai pops out of nowhere now, despite all of this. So I don't blame Bayley for not trusting Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai, you should have been there for Bayley sooner than later. So I don't blame Bayley at all. And with that being said, we have to see what happens next. And that's the end of that segment. And then we get to the main segment of the night. We have The Rock and Roman. So this is the main segment. We got Roman coming out with Solo and Paul Heyman, as always. Oh, yeah, and Jimmy, too. He's somewhere back there. Anyway, we got that coming. We have those. So Roman coming out, acknowledge him. And then later he announces that Rock is coming out. He's going to talk to Ice. Literally, Roman just really gave the whole segment to The Rock. Now, it was rumored that Paul Heyman was going to do the talking for The Rock, but that did not happen. So we got Rock coming out. He coming out in full heel clothing. The shirt basically reminds of the old vintage Rock. We used to wear the $500 shirts, as he called it. Now he's got a vest on, and he is totally fully heel mode. He's insulting the fans. He's saying, Salt Lake City, saying, talking about their fat, talking about their trash, everything, talking about how you root for Cody. He cut a good segment saying how Cody's not going to finish his story, and Rock's going to do everything he can to avoid Cody walking out WrestleMania 40 as champion. Say you're going to be exactly what you came in, a loser. Then he put over Roman, saying Roman beat you at WrestleMania 39 last year for the Undisputed Universal title. You're not going to do that again. And then what Rock did say is he told Cody, why should you get another shot at Roman? He said you had your shot last year. You lost. Why you get one this year? Then he referenced the 49ers. They faced against off the Chiefs in the past in the Super Bowl. He said they didn't win, and he said they packed their bags and left. For Rock, let's not, Cody Rhodes is challenging Roman Reigns again for the second year in a row. This is true, but you gotta remember Cody Rhodes won the Royal Rumble last year, which is the reason why he challenged Roman Reigns in the first place. But his thing, Rock, one thing you left out about Cody Rhodes, he won the Royal Rumble this year too. So he had a perfect good reason why to challenge Roman again at WrestleMania for the Undisputed Universal Championship. Cody had a very good claim why. He even said at the WrestleMania 40 kickoff, I won the Royal Rumble. Nobody decides who I face. It's I decide who I face because I'm the winner, and he chooses Roman. And I like how they're playing off how Roman and Rock, they run things around here, and they're choosing what Cody is going to face Roman or not. They're basically putting it on Cody like, you're not facing Roman and you're not winning. We're running things around here. But Cody didn't win the Royal Rumble. So anybody that wins Royal Rumble has the rightful claim to choose who they want to face at WrestleMania for their respective championship, whether it's the Raw branded world title or the SmackDown branded world title. In this case, Cody's choosing Roman. As we all know, it's a SmackDown world champion, the Undisputed Universal Champion. So Cody has perfect claim. And last year there was no two world champions. It was only Roman because he had both belts. He has one single belt now, been merged to one. So Rock, where do you get off telling him that? That's what I found funny. But that's the narrative that they're playing. Roman, The Rock, they run things around here. We do whatever we want. That's what they said to WrestleMania 40 kickoff. They said to Seth Rollins. They said to Cody. Even said to Triple H afterwards of the press conference. And, Rock, he later acknowledged that he is a part of the bloodline. So we see that. Rock's official in the bloodline. Said you smell what the Rock in bloodline is cooking. Which the first time he says he had put himself to bloodline and acknowledging it. That's what he did tonight on SmackDown.
What the bloodline is cooking.
So that is a good way to end Friday Night SmackDown. The only thing I said with this segment here, with The Rock, the only thing I would say about that, despite him, acknowledging he's with the bloodline, you smell we cooking. Everybody got their ones up. Solo, Roman, Paul, Jimmy. Rock he has a finger and pointing like a gun instead of one finger. Is he showing a sign of anything? Is he showing that even though he's on bloodline side now, that he may turn on Roman at some given point or flip on the bloodline? It's just, symbolism is everything. We know that in wrestling. We say pictures 1,000 words. That's true, but symbolism is everything. Why does Rock don't have one single finger? Why does he have guns? What does that mean when he put that up? Is he pointing towards someone? So I found that kind of odd. Why would Rock have that up instead of just a one finger? Could it set up for the match that people wanted, Rock and Roman down the line? Or maybe, he turns on Roman at WrestleMania. Maybe they have a match later on at SummerSlam or something. Who knows? Maybe somewhere down the line. Because that was the initial plan, or at least that what we were thought to believe. Rock versus Roman at WrestleMania. Maybe we still get a match one-on-one, maybe down the line. Because this is Cody has finished story. Cody needs his rematch versus Roman. And I don't see Cody losing this time, unlike last year. But that's just a food for thought. You guys let me know what you think of that, of Rock having not just one finger up. So that's very interesting to see what will happen next. With the Bloodline, Rock being with Bloodline, they all standing strong, like Seth Rollins said on Raw. The card's going to be stacked even much heavier than last year. You already had Roman, Solo, Jimmy, and now you got The Rock at WrestleMania 4 is going to be wild. So, that's all I have regarding WWE SmackDown live show commentary reaction. So, this is the end of the first round. Talking about SmackDown. Now, we're going to move to the bonus round. And we will talk about WrestleMania 40 and how it could be the biggest WrestleMania ever. At least my opinion. And like I said, I have my reasons why it can be the biggest WrestleMania ever. At least that's how I see it. I wouldn't see why not. But we got that going on. So we're going to switch gears. Head on to the bonus stream. Bonus round is here. So let's see. We're going to talk about what would be the biggest shows of all time. WrestleMania 40, the biggest ever. That's what this is about. Will WrestleMania 40 be the biggest one? We're talking about WrestleMania. So let's switch gears and let's get into it. Let's talk about what's going on. Let's talk about WrestleMania 40. All right. WrestleMania 40. Now, WrestleMania 40, as we know, is April 6th and 7th. It'll be in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. They had a WrestleMania kickoff, first time ever. WWE has done that. And WrestleMania kickoff did great numbers. Yeah, surprised a lot of people despite the whole Vince McMahon allegation. And they basically fed off the crowd of how to feel about The Rock and other things amongst that. But it's definitely going to be something to remember. Philadelphia is known for having a wild crowd. One of the wildest crowds in history. We learned that. City of Brotherly Love. We know Philadelphia is the original home of ECW. So we know that if they go crazy, ECW, they'll definitely go crazy for this. It's the first time ever that WrestleMania will be in Philadelphia. We had it in the East, of course, New Jersey, New York, but it's going to be in Philadelphia. And I believe with the right components that this could be the best WrestleMania. They already show signs of with the WrestleMania kickoff, the slap, Cody being slapped by The Rock, the whole interaction with the Bloodline, with Seth and Cody. That video was 1 million views within. Didn't take long to get 1 million views off that video alone at the kickoff. They said the house was full. They expected many people in there at the T-Mobile Arena for Las Vegas, which would be very, very, very surprising that they had many people in there. And I think since they went off the whole crowd for WrestleMania, kickoff being in Las Vegas, they said WrestleMania 41 is to be rumored in Las Vegas next year. We've heard rumors of Minneapolis. There was even rumor at one point that Brock Lesnar, a Minneapolis native, will have his final match at WrestleMania. But despite, the recent allegations and scandal with Brock Lesnar name being tied to the whole Janelle Grant lawsuit, it's highly unlikely that Brock Lesnar will ever step foot in the WWE ring again, let alone WrestleMania for that matter, as he already been erased from the video game and also sold his merchandise, for a discounted price and trying to pretty much erase his name from history. So I would say more likely it could be Las Vegas. As they saw the numbers with the kickoff show, they did very, very well. They really have WrestleMania for the following year. So I think WrestleMania 41 Las Vegas will be very something unique. It's never been done before in Las Vegas, and it would definitely be a game changer for WWE and WrestleMania within itself. So it's pretty much going to be big event. This WrestleMania 40 is the 40th anniversary of WrestleMania. Then we have The Rock around for WrestleMania season. Last year we had John Cena at WrestleMania 39. Now we got The Rock. We got Roman Reigns, champion, going against Cody for the Undisputed Universal Championship. And then we got other matches like Bayley versus Io for the WWE Women's Championship. So this is going to be a very, very good WrestleMania. It could be our largest WrestleMania ever as far as attendance record goes. Let's not forget, if it's sold out that quick at the kickoff show, I can only imagine what the attendance record going to be for WrestleMania night 1 and night 2 for that matter. So we're going to definitely, it's going to definitely be some fun for WWE, because we do know that the ticket gate of WrestleMania 40 being sold in Philadelphia is sold out very, very fast. The fastest sellout ever, biggest sellout ever for WrestleMania. You can't even get a ticket for WrestleMania 40 now in Philadelphia. It's going to be hard to get it. And if you do get it, you're going to be paying a very hefty price for it. So, like I said, I can see WrestleMania 40 having an all-time attendance record. With that being said, I can see that happening. I mean, speaking of all-time attendance record, let's not forget what we can have that'll be a factor. WrestleMania 35 is the number 3. That's the biggest one. This is back in April 7th, back in 2019. This was the last WrestleMania before it became 2 nights. This is when it's the same WrestleMania where Kofi Kingston won his first ever WWE Championship. Also, Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey, and Charlotte Flair main evented WrestleMania. So this had 82,265 people in attendance at the MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. So that's the top 3. And we have number 2, of course, who could forget WrestleMania 3, Macho Man Randy Savage versus Ricky Steamboat Classic match. We have that in the Superdome, not Superdome, Hulk Hogan. We had 93,173. That's crazy that this WrestleMania is 37 years ago, and it still holds a top record. It was the top record at one point, but now it's still sitting at number 2 at 93,000. That's how monumental that particular WrestleMania is. That's how much weight it holds. And then, of course, number 1, the top WrestleMania for attendance record, back in 2016 WrestleMania 32, which was in Arlington, Texas at the AT&T Stadium at 101,763. Now, there are people that have been saying that these numbers have been manipulated. It was exactly 101, maybe 99, 98. That's what I've read in reports. Their words, not mine. I wasn't there at that WrestleMania. But it's crazy because this WrestleMania was the WrestleMania that Roman faced off against Triple H in the main event for the WWE Championship. Also, this is the WrestleMania that Shane McMahon faced off against Undertaker at Hell in a Cell. Also, despite those 2 matches, this was the year that everybody was hurt. This is the year Seth Rollins was out. This is the year that I believe John Cena was out. He still peaked, but I don't think he wrestled a match. We had a lot of injuries that year. A lot of people was hurt that year. A lot of people was hurt at WrestleMania. And it seemed like a lackluster WrestleMania. This WrestleMania was, because of the plethora of injuries on the WWE roster at the time, it was like one of the lackluster WrestleManias. And it's crazy that's still the top attendance record for any WrestleMania to this day. But I come here to say that despite these past WrestleManias having great attendance numbers, I strongly believe that WrestleMania 40 is going to beat that. They could easily top the 101,000 that we saw for WrestleMania 32. They could have 103, 110, 115, 120,000 for that matter. I think it's going to be topped off. I don't see why WrestleMania 40 cannot have the all-time attendance record. It has a very much potential during the kickoff event in Las Vegas to have that record. So if they did numbers then, they definitely going to do those numbers at WrestleMania 40. Both nights is going to be jam-packed, wall-to-wall, seat-to-seat, body-to-body. It's not going to be one missing seat at this WrestleMania. So I think WrestleMania is going to have the all-time record. Hence, since it will have the all-time record, I will also say, and I'll say it again, it will be the biggest WrestleMania. And the largest WrestleMania, since WrestleMania 40 could have the largest WrestleMania, it's going to set the tone for future WrestleManias. Now, they already talking about, like I said, Las Vegas is going to have WrestleMania 41, but also it's going to make WWE be more creative and do more things to possibly at least match what they did WrestleMania 40. If not top it, at least try to match it. It's going to make WWE elevate their game even higher. And we're going to see that in the future. I've also heard too that WrestleMania, don't be surprised, it could be, besides Las Vegas, it could be, we could have a WrestleMania 1 year at some given point. I don't know when, but it was kind of teased at this past Money in the Bank with John Cena. He kind of sent his promo. WrestleMania could be out of the country. It could be, at Australia, could be of France, because we do have Elimination Chamber in Australia. We have Backlash in France. We do have Money in the Bank, speaking of which, in Canada. So it could be out of the U.S. At 1 year, if not WrestleMania 41, it could have WrestleMania in a whole nother country. Now, which country would that be? I don't know yet. But don't be surprised if we have WrestleMania out of the country down the line, because that's how big WrestleMania is getting. WrestleMania is not getting smaller. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So it definitely has the potential of doing that. And it's great for WWE. Hence, I said this before and I'll say it again. WWE has stepped their game up ever since the Tuesday Night War of NXT versus AEW. Ever since that night, NXT alone and WWE numbers have really skyrocketed. And when that happened, AEW numbers have dropped drastically. It went down. AEW currently has some of the worst viewership ratings in history. They're not even getting 1 million viewers anymore. They're getting 0.2, 0.3, 0.1. So that WrestleMania, they're not playing around. Like I said, they could easily be out the country. And they have to remember, like I said, those are the biggest attendance records, as I mentioned. WrestleMania 32, 3, and 35. WrestleMania 40 wants to top that. WWE, they're showing us they want to top those attendance records. And I think they will top those numbers. Just having the Rock there alone. And you got Roman and Cody finishing the story. Now you have Seth in there. We got a brand new world title in WrestleMania. Then we have the great talent of not just the men's, but the women's division. We got currently, Elimination Chamber match for the women's to set up WrestleMania. We got Rhea, Mommy, the women's world champion. We got the Bayley Io Sky story. So it's a lot of stories with this WrestleMania, a lot of stories to be told, and a lot of stories that will be defined at this WrestleMania. So it's gonna definitely kick it out. I mean, WrestleMania 40 it's there. We're here. We're here at WrestleMania. It's crazy because we got a little under 2 months of WrestleMania. It's very close to being here. We're gonna get that WrestleMania. So it's going to be great. WrestleMania 4 is going to be April 6th through 7th. And not only we have that WrestleMania weekend, we have the NXT Stand and Deliver also in Philadelphia. And NXT Stand and Deliver, they literally deliver every year. I like last year's Stand and Deliver. So we got that on, right before night 1 of WrestleMania. So, I mean, it does not get any bigger. Now, like I said, not only the WrestleMania is getting bigger, but also NXT is getting bigger. And remember, they have the current deal that they just about to start with CW this fall. And then we have, of course, Raw on Netflix starting January. The first time a wrestling company is going to a streaming service, not cable. No company's ever done that. WWE will be the first to do that. So that is a game changer within itself. Jay-Z said it best, don't follow me, follow my moves. I'm not a role model. I'm following the moves WWE is making, and they're making major moves. WrestleMania 40, big. WWE Raw on Netflix, big. NXT moving from the USN network to CW, big. SmackDown leaving Fox and going back to the USN network for the first time since 2016, big. WWE is doing big things. Every time I look up, they're making major moves. So I mean, WWE is showing us that they want to be at the top, and not only be at the top, which they already are, they want to stay at the top of the wrestling industry, being the #1 wrestling company in the world. And then moving to streaming service with Netflix is a game changer in that. And I don't see any other wrestling company, you name it, AEW, TNA, they're not going to go to a streaming service. That's a big deal, and it costs major lots of money to get that done. I mean, these same companies like AEW and TNA, they're struggling to even get a cable TV deal, let alone get a streaming service deal. Imagine that. I mean, we do have the Peacock deal still with WWE, but we know that once the Peacock deal, which will be up in 2026, which is 2 years from now, WrestleMania at some given point to be streamed, not on Peacock, not on WWE Network anymore. WrestleMania streaming on Netflix. I mean, you know how big that is. You know how many viewers can stream that alone? Netflix, the biggest streaming service in the world. WWE, the biggest wrestling company in the world. Now they are together. Now we can watch streaming all the events on Netflix. In most households, I looked it up, one person in every household, at least one individual has Netflix. They are subscribed to Netflix. At least one person has it. Hence why Netflix changed their policy a while back of you can't share passwords. You can only use so many passwords for a particular account. I guarantee you at least one person in every household has a Netflix account. So they know that, and WWE capitalized, say, hey, let's put WWE on Netflix. Let's put Raw on there. It would be even sweeter if SmackDown was on Netflix too, but we can't be spoiled. We got a good deal with the Netflix deal. We know that's gonna be a 10-year deal. If it don't work, 5-year deal. Still big enough for us to notice that WWE is making major moves, and it cannot be ignored. So they're not gonna be denied of what they want. I've seen it with WWE. They're not gonna be denied of what they want. WrestleMania could be streamed on Netflix one day, very soon. Not this year, obviously, but the next few years down the line. 2026, 2027, WrestleMania streamed on Netflix. Just think about that for 1 second. WrestleMania on Netflix. But other than that, WrestleMania is gonna be it's gonna be a big WrestleMania. And it's just WWE. I'm just very happy of the moves they're making. Now we may not agree with everything WWE's doing, and I don't expect to agree with everything they're doing. That would be not realistic. They're doing the right things for the most part. They're doing the right thing. And let alone the TV deals, the booking that's been going very, very well. Not just on Raw, but SmackDown too. SmackDown sometimes be better with show than Raw. And Raw's the flagship show. And also NXT, they've done great with that. I know that they are steered away from the black and gold. They went to the NXT 2.0. And then ever since they reverted back to the original NXT black and gold, NXT stepped their game up as well. It got to the point NXT got better. They don't even need a main roster star or a big name to appear on the show to boost ratings. NXT is ratings in itself. They have great storylines going on, great booking, great champions, great NXT North American champion, Obafemi, if I say his name right, Lyra as the NXT Women's Champion, and Ilya Dragunov as NXT Men's Champion. They're doing a great job over there. And of course, Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin recently won the tag team titles on this past episode of NXT. So WWE WrestleMania 40. We talk about WWE WrestleMania 40 with the main roster, but NXT Stand and Deliver, they're part of this weekend too. So let's not forget about that too. We do have NXT Stand and Deliver, and that is WrestleMania weekend, and that's a big event for NXT. They used to have the takeover event, but I guess they stayed away from that. And we have NXT Stand Deliver, which will be, like I said, on the first night of WrestleMania 1. That will be after NXT Stand Deliver. And that is a big weekend for WWE because NXT Stand Deliver, you see some great stories and great performances by NXT talent who we going to potentially see on the main roster. We see it now. Tiffany Stratton just joined SmackDown, came from NXT. Braun Breaker just joined SmackDown, literally just joined tonight. And now he just came from NXT. Then we have the NXT draft. We have the draft coming up. NXT, those people are going to be drafted to the main roster. So this is a big weekend. This is going to be not just the biggest event, but who knows? It could even go down. It could be the biggest weekend ever for WWE. And not only be the biggest weekend ever, it's going to be something to remember. I will say this, I may get flack for it. Not only be the biggest weekend ever for WWE, it can even top the Super Bowl. We just had Super Bowl. Kansas City defeated the 49ers. We were really surprised that it went down like that. We knew Kansas City was going to win, So salute to the Chiefs. That's their third Super Bowl, second Super Bowl back-to-back. But this WrestleMania 40 is going to be a big weekend, and it will top Super Bowl. Because the WrestleMania, speaking of Super Bowl, the WrestleMania 40 commercial showing Roman Reigns, The Rock, Cody, and Seth Rollins was aired during the Super Bowl. So this is going to top it. And I can promise you that the people that saw Super Bowl and saw that commercial, even if they don't even follow WWE, they will maybe want to say, hey, I want to tune in and watch their WrestleMania. They had no Super Bowl weekend. We never saw that before. Let's watch WrestleMania this year. And they may even like it and keep watching, or they may see you don't like it, turn it off. But that means that's how big WWE WrestleMania is. We had the kickoff show. Tremendous numbers. Million views off the slap with Rock and Cody. Then the air Super Bowl weekend. You know how much it costs to air commercial on Super Bowl weekend? lots of money, lots of zeros. So WWE is all in on this one. So this could really very, very well top the Super Bowl. I don't see why it wouldn't be. It makes perfect sense why it would top. So do not sleep on WWE WrestleMania this whole weekend. Not just WrestleMania, but NXT Stand Deliver. Because all of that is the same weekend. So it can do better than Super Bowl. And WWE get a whole new viewership of people watching WrestleMania that were maybe football fans. Maybe they didn't like the ending. Some people saying that Kansas City shouldn't have won. 49ers got close and they dropped the ball. Maybe they weren't interested in how the end result of Super Bowl was this year. Maybe they say, hey, I want to check out WrestleMania 40. I saw a commercial for that. The Rock's there. Maybe people are a fan of Rock. Maybe people have watched WWE in a while or first time ever. And they'll check it out and be maybe blown away of how WrestleMania 40 is going to be. Because I can't see how WrestleMania 40 will not be a great event. I can't see how WWE will drop the ball on WrestleMania 40. It's not going to happen. Like I said, you're already in the wildest crowds for Philadelphia. You know, it's going to be definitely a big crowd there. It's going to be larger than life itself. You know, so I definitely see how this is going to pan out. Question is, like I said, I don't know how when they do have these tremendous numbers for WrestleMania 40, how they gonna top it off the following year for that. All they could do is try to at least match it, like I said earlier. So that would be great to see. Like I said, you guys let me know what you think of that. I mean, this is gonna be great. It's gonna be great though. I can't see why it wouldn't be. So it's gonna be definitely the large WrestleMania. I can't see why it wouldn't be, but it's gonna be a large WrestleMania. I just want to see how that crowd's gonna be during the main events of WrestleMania. How they gonna react to Rock, Roman, everything? Because when Cody more likely will win that undisputed title for Roman, that crowd is gonna be all over. They're going to be yelling, screaming, everything. Because they do not want Roman to retain that title this year, unlike last year. But we're going to have a large WrestleMania. I remember we are in Philly. Let's not forget about that. So it's going to have an all-attendance record. I definitely see that happen with WrestleMania. It's going to be a great, great weekend to check out. You know, then of course later on we got WrestleMania Backlash. We have Money in the Bank. Then of course the biggest part of SummerSlam. In a new event, don't forget Bash at the Berlin. And then of course Survivor Series. It's the only beginning, but we are in the road to WrestleMania for sure. So there's no way WWE's going to be denied of greatness and having something exciting going along for them. I just can't see that not happening. At least I don't see it. There's no way. The numbers are going to be impeccable for what they're going to do. Definitely impeccable. There's no way possible, but it's just going to be great. I can't wait to see what they're going to do at WrestleMania. You know, I can't wait to see how the story's going to pan out. Everything. We may get some surprise appearances too. Rumor Stone Cold may show out. Rumor other stars may show out. We may get a surprise appearance by a big name. Even though we got The Rock there, we're happy for that. We may get Stone Cold to come out. We may get other stars to come out. Who knows? Hall of Famers, legends, anybody can show up at WrestleMania 40. Anything can happen in the WWE. WWE has proved that time and time again that anything can happen. Anybody can show up, not just at any event, but WrestleMania for all events. So that's definitely going to be amazing. So I can't wait to see what the next move is going to be for